Hey, what's up, movie people? I hope you're doing well. This is going to be my review of Renfield starring Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. It helps out a lot. But let's get right to the review.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
Alright, so the plot of Renfield follows Renfield, the tortured aide to his narcissistic boss, Dracula, who is forced to procure his master's prey and do his every bidding. However, after centuries of servitude, he's ready to see if there's a life outside the shadows of the Prince of Darkness. That's basically the whole plot of this movie. It's pretty simple when you go into it. It's just Renfield being the servant of Dracula, doing the killing, giving Dracula the bodies to build him up to full power and all that. And Renfield says, "I'm not happy anymore. I gotta go. Bye, Dracula." And then he finds Awkwafina and falls in love with her. Well, emphasis on the falls in love. We don't know actually if they're really in love. But I don't know about this movie, man. The trailer had me thinking I would have liked this a lot more than I did. And let's just say I was very disappointed with this movie. I'm not going to go full rundown over everything here. I'm just going to go, the good is basically the three main leads, which is Nick Cage, Nicholas Hoult, and Awkwafina. I do like Nicolas Cage a decent bit. He's not like one of my favorite actors out there, but I feel like he has a decent bit of charm. And I feel like he has good comedic timing, especially in his last movie with Pedro Pascal. I like that one a lot. I feel like I liked him a little bit. I liked him here, but I feel like he didn't get much time to shine in it. I wish it was just more of a serious role for him. I know he does more comedic roles, but I wish it was more serious role. Nicholas Hoult, on the other hand, I think he does a lot of carrying in this movie. I think he's the best part of this movie. And I think that if this movie was like very different in tone, I think this movie could have been so much better. Because I feel like Nicholas Hoult is playing kind of up a more serious tone than everyone else. He's just out acting everyone else in this movie. Because I feel like everyone else is just under him, trying to just act with him. But Nicholas Hoult really does have great acting chops. And it sucks that he's in a movie like this, because he was just in The Menu, which he was fantastic in, and he was so good in that. And then I've seen, basically, he's in The Great. I've seen like 5 episodes of that show. I still want to get back into it, but he's fantastic in that show. His comedy is fantastic in that show. I just didn't feel any of that in this show. I feel like he's giving a total different performance, which is one that I still liked. I liked that he was like kind of the more serious, and his tone was kind of played down rather than everyone else in this movie. So I did like Nicholas Hoult a lot in this movie, but everyone else, it just showed that everyone else was just not acting as well as him in this. And Awkwafina, I mean, I kind of like Awkwafina in this a little bit, but I do see like how she wasn't really needed in this movie. I don't know how far along they put her in the script in this movie, but her character is just there basically, just there for the plot. And she's just like a plot moving device with her sister and all that. And I feel like this would have been so much better if it was just Nicholas Hoult and Nick Cage acting against each other for the whole movie, instead of these wide supporting characters that just had horrible acting chops. I don't know what was going on in this movie. And Chris McKay directed this movie. What's going on, Chris McKay? You did the Lego Batman movie. I think you helped on the first Lego movie. Those were both fantastic movies with excellent comedy. Maybe it's just me going into the movie thinking it was just going to be so much better. But I feel like that's all the good is the 3 main leads of the movie. Now with the bad, I'm going to say, as I said before, this movie was way too silly for me. Like, there's comedy for me, but then there's just way too much comedy at one point. This just got way too silly at many points. And I just did not feel like I was advertised the same movie I was getting, but maybe I just saw something different in the first trailer. I only watched the first trailer and I thought it had at least some serious points in this, but I feel like this movie did not have any serious points for me to really take in, and I feel like it just got way too silly for me. And most of the good jokes were even in the trailer. I mean, everyone in my theater seemed to be laughing at him, so that's good for them. I'm happy people enjoyed it. But all the jokes that I would have laughed at were in the trailer, and I already saw that trailer like 20 times in the theater, because that's what happens when you go to the theater so much. You see the same trailers so many more times. So there's not much to laugh about when the jokes you saw in the trailer that were funny aren't really funny anymore since you saw them so much. And that's where all the good jokes were, where they were in the trailer. So I just didn't find any of the other jokes that funny. And I think that this film relied on way too much CGI blood. I mean, there's a point to gore, which I like, and there's a point where I don't like. Like, this blood was way too fake in my opinion. It's not like laughable fake in my eyes. It's like fake, wow, I can't believe this is the kind of blood we're getting, which I guess it applies to the silly aspect where that blood went way too silly for me, and it just did not work for me at all. And Ben Schwartz is in this movie, who we all know as Sonic, and we all love him as Sonic, but in this movie, he was just basically playing a deranged Sonic in a human form. And I gotta tell you, I have seen Ben Schwartz act in other things, and he did so much better. I think that Chris McKay just told everyone to be way too silly in this movie. Ben Schwartz was just way too silly, and he has a mom in this movie. I didn't think her acting was that great either. I just am very disappointed with all the side characters acting, and the whole plot just didn't work for me. The silliness didn't work for me at all. I'm very sad not to have liked this movie, because we're supposed to have a lot of horror movies this month, and this one was supposed to be one of them. So it just kind of makes me upset, and I'm hoping Evil Dead really does capture my love for horror again coming up next week. But overall, like I said, I'm very disappointed with it. It just went way too over the top in my eyes, and it could have been so much better with a different tone and just Nick Cage and Nicholas Hoult acting against each other, maybe even in a different time period rather than present day, because maybe I would have believed this CGI blood and silliness in a different time period. But I just gotta say, it didn't work for me at all. Overall, I didn't like it that much. I'm gonna go for a 2 out of 5 on this one. It's very surprising, the 2 out of 5 that I gave it, but I just didn't feel it at all. I didn't have fun with it. Maybe if you like silliness, like over the top, you'll have fun with it. People in my theater did, but I just didn't like it that much. But overall, that's my review of Renfield. You guys should go see it, but I'm not gonna say it's a theater movie. You could wait for it on streaming. That's all I'm going to say, but I do advocate for you all to go to the theaters sometimes. But this one, you can wait for streaming. But overall, that's it for me. I'm not sure which video will come out next, but next week I'm reviewing Evil Dead and Beau is Afraid. I'm so excited for that one. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.